I've got cold hands. And here's a fun fact about me. I never get cold hands, but my hands are freezing. And I don't know why. Just got to the shop, it's like 20 to 6. When I was like leaving my house, like I was reversing, and the man from next door came round the corner as I was reversing. And he looked at me and I think he smiled, but I was just like, I mean, she's the problem, let's be real. I think he calms her down. And I don't know if I told you, did I mention about my dad went and spoke to them? I think I did. But turns out their son, like I've said all along, he's definitely got learning difficulties and he's about 7, and I was right. And turns out he isn't his son. Because when my dad went, your son, apparently he closed the door, stepped forward and whispered, he isn't my son, he's my stepson. But they do have a little girl. She's about 1 now. So I remember when she was born last year. She's actually just over 1 because I was still working in that job when she was born, because I went outside to like, you know, like defrost my car before I left, like half an hour before. Oh, actually it was like an hour before, because I'd go back in and then do my makeup and stuff. And when I went out to do that, like 7:30 in the morning, his car wasn't there next door, and he doesn't normally go to work till I think like 10 to 8 or 20 to 8. And then this man, who I see every now and then still, was letting himself into the house. I thought, God, she must be in labour or she's given birth, or both. Well, she wouldn't be in labour and giving birth, but do you know what I mean? And that was whilst I was still working where I was working, so the baby's over a year old now. And she's only recently just gone back to work. I don't think she's full time. I think she does 3.5 or 4 days. So anyway, you don't need to know the life story of my neighbours. I'm not in my normal space, I'm normally parked behind me, but there was no spaces. Or there were spaces, but they were next to cars that were already there. Why do they keep... Do you know when you lock your car and your lights flash? A car there keeps... like it's like they keep locking the car. But yeah, my hands are cold and I never get cold hands. So you can see I'm dragging out the inevitable, going in the shop and going home, because I know what I've got to do when I go home, and I'm not really thrilled about it because I don't want to do it. I just can't be bothered with it. I'd rather just sit around and do nothing. But I have a goal, I have a target, and it's tomorrow. So it's because it's the if it was just everything other than the DIY project, I wouldn't be as bothered, and I wouldn't be like putting off the inevitable. But because I know I've got that, and I know how long it's going to take and how difficult it's going to be, it's making me just want to piss around, mess around. Anyway, seeing as I'm having a chat, I ended up talking to Verity from Levana Botanicals last night, because she put up this post because Mrs. Hinch on Sunday, I believe, was going on about bath bombs, like when she tried to put the bubble bar in the water and it wouldn't dissolve. Like, I love Mrs. Hinch, but she's not the brightest person, is she? Because it even says on the packaging to run it under the tap, and she just threw it in the water and she couldn't understand why it didn't dissolve. So Verity, because she makes bath bombs and wax melts, she was like, because Mrs. Hinch put her finger up saying recommend, you know, bath bomb sellers. So I recommended Verity because I love her bath bombs. She's a million times better than Hubble and Bubble. I told her that last year. I'm like, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass or anything, but you know, your bath bombs are better than Hubble and Bubble. And Mrs. Hinch then went out and bought those really ridiculously crap bath bombs yesterday, and Verity put a few stories up going on about, like, you know, Mrs. Hinch going out and buying all those crap products and promoting them to people when they're full of crap if you read the ingredients. And you know, she said she was really disappointed that, you know, with a platform like hers, that she didn't try to like work with small businesses and promote them, and like especially Verity's bath bombs are full of natural ingredients and stuff, and she was just like, she was really disappointed by it. And then I sent her a message saying like about Mrs. Hinch, and I just feel like she's on the bandwagon, and like she comes across very naive and like she's not tried a lot of things. Like she'll be talking to Mr. Hinch. I always forget what he's really called. Oh, what's he called? I can't remember what he's called. Some of the things she comes out with, it's like she's not really done much with her life or tried much. And I know, like, I spent the majority of my life in my house, but I've tried things and I know about things, but she just seems new to a lot of things that most people know about. And I was saying that to her, and I was saying, like, you know, she'll see something and she'll get it, and then she'll be shocked that other people have known about it for years, and then she'll just go all out and like buy lots of it. And I said, like, I feel disappointed that she's just gone and bought those really crap bath bombs, and then people are going to watch and go and buy the same things rather than supporting smaller businesses, and especially businesses that promote such natural ingredients like Verity's bath bombs. And I said quite a few things, and then she replied, and then I replied, and then she sent me voice messages. And there would have been a time where I wouldn't voice message anyone back, but obviously because of this channel, and I do talk on here, and also I do Insta stories, you know, if I've bought something I'll talk about it. I personally don't go on facially on my Instagram stories, but you'll hear me talking, and I thought, well, she's heard me talking because she watches my stories, because she follows me. You know, I'll just talk back to her, and we sent quite a lot of messages to one another last night. And I totally agree with what she's saying, and like, I made a few points to her, and she's like, oh yeah, I think you're right, because she basically thinks Mrs. Hinch has either got a deal with Lush or she's in talks to have a deal with Lush. And I said I feel that's why she's asked everyone where they get the bath bombs from, because if a lot of people said Lush, she would know that would be a good deal to take, because then people would go and buy more Lush bath bombs. So there's potentially a promotion or something in the lines regarding Lush products, or she wants a promotion with Lush products. So I think that's kind of what it's all about. And we don't have anything against Lush. They do have natural ingredients and stuff, and Verity's prices are very similar to Lush. Lush will be making a much bigger profit. Obviously Verity has larger overhead. She can't buy to the extent that Lush do, so Lush would be making maybe an 80% profit, and Verity's probably making a 20% profit. I only know that sort of thing because I have a heavy background in finance. I've not asked her, but I have been buying stuff to make my own bath bombs. I didn't tell her that, because obviously I'm not going in competition with her or anything like that. And I've been buying bits and pieces, and it is pricey. And if I say I made 10 from what I've bought, and say I did want to sell them, which I won't be doing, you know, I'd probably just break even, to be honest. You need to put money in it to buy a bulk, which I believe Verity did, and then, you know, she's only recently starting to make profit from it. But also her bath bombs are constantly out of stock. Like, she's done 2 restocks and I've missed out twice. But I do have bath bombs, so it's not like I don't have any bath bombs, but I do hope that I do eventually get some bath bombs, because I've been buying from Verity since December, and a lot of the people that are just buying from her now have just been buying from around February. But what they did in the restock, some of them were going on and getting about 20 bath bombs and stopping other people from getting a few, whereas all I tried to do was get 3 bath bombs and 2 lots of wax melts. You know, even if I had the money to buy the amount of bath bombs that they were buying, I wouldn't do it, because I feel like everyone should get the chance to go and buy some. It's like when Mrs. Hinch promotes a product, people go out and buy 20 of them and leave none on the shelf, rather than thinking I'll just have 1 or 2 and let other people do it. So yeah, I had a nice little chat, and like, we both feel sorry for Mrs. Hinch in a way, because obviously so much is expected of her. Like today so far she's not been online, and a lot of people be messaging her going, "Wait, Mrs. Hinch, where are you? Are you okay, Mrs. Hinch?" And I feel at times she feels like she has to be online and constantly putting posts up, just because that's what people expect from her. So it must be stressful for her, and she's constantly posting about anxiety as well. And you know, it's probably the stress of all this, and she's not going to be around forever. This is kind of like, you know, people favour things at certain times, and then eventually 6 months, a year down the line, they're onto something else. Obviously she's going to make the most of it while she can, but it's just sad that she's promoting a lot of crap, and that's what we were saying, like she's not promoting any eco products or small businesses, and if they are, like she does promote small businesses, she tends to be related to them or know them. And we just feel like with her platform she should promote other people as well, like she promotes Ava May Aromas. Ava May Aromas isn't anything special. I have one of hers. I know I've not burnt it, but I have stuff from Queen of Tarts which is actually better. But because Mrs. Hinch kept going on about Ava May, every time she mentions her, she blows up, and then like regular customers can't get wax melts, which isn't fair really. So, you know, and I know Verity and Hannah from Ava May I have met, but ever since then Ava May or Hannah doesn't really talk to Verity, so I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's because Verity now does her own wax melts, but they're totally different. She does star-shaped ones, Hannah just does the clamshells. So I don't know, it's just, you know, you should be supporting one another. Even if you're doing the same thing, you should just support one another, and Verity does that a lot. She supports other small businesses and tries to help them grow, and I think ideally she's trying to build a business up enough so she can leave a job, because she talks about a job and not being happy and things like that, and I think she's trying to build it up so she can leave, but she can't even keep up with what she's doing now. Like she's done pre-orders, which she said she doesn't normally do. She's done pre-orders, and even that ran out before I got anything. So she will have to come to a point where she's going to have to make a decision, either go for it fully or cut back on it and do little of it and keep a full-time job. So it was actually nice to get to speak to her, because normally I would have just sent like written messages. Like I sent the last voice messages last night and she replied written today, but she was at work, so I'm going to reply to them later on. I'm not going to get like into long drawn conversations tonight. I have to get on with stuff, but it was just nice that we ended up talking, and we always normally like have a bit of chats anyway, like she'll see something on my stories, or I'll see something on her stories and I'll comment, or she'll comment on my pictures or whatever. So but it was actually nice just having a conversation, and the me of a year ago wouldn't have done, because I wouldn't have had the confidence. So that was nice, and I am a big supporter of her. I just, you know, miss out constantly on the bath bombs, and I can't buy as much as I'd like to. Like she did candles, which she's run out of now. I would have liked to buy a candle, but I think they were £22 plus postage, and I just couldn't do it. And my pine wax melts I'm making last, because, you know, I can't get hold of any, and I want to try a few of the other wax melts, but I want to order them at the same time as the bath bombs, because I could go on and get the wax melts because she's got them in stock, but I want bath bombs. So I'm going to have to wait, and hopefully on the next restock, which is probably going to be the end of this month now, hopefully I'll be able to have some money to I've just realised the people in the car 2 spaces down have been sat in it the whole time. So yeah, because I said last night I've been talking to someone, I'll talk about it today. It was Verity, because there's I've always secretly hoped that Verity will let me be a brand rep, and every time she gets a new one I'm a bit like, because I've supported her for months and months and months, and the brand reps that she's got haven't supported her. I think she's like picked them because she's followed them and things like that. And I know my Instagram isn't the best, like it's cleaning products and beauty products, and I'm really on it, and I don't show my house, and a lot of people show things in the house, but my house isn't worth showing. Like there's nothing special about my house, it's not nicely decorated, it's not how I want it, but maybe one day it will be. And I think she's looking for someone who has nice bits and pieces in the house and things like that. So I'm always hopeful she'll ask me to be a brand rep, but yeah, at the moment she hasn't. And she got another one recently, and I was like, but yeah, that's that really. And I'm going to have to go in the shop, because if I don't go home, I won't get things done. And I want to finish my DIY project. I almost said what it was. I was like, I want to finish, and then I was like, my DIY project. But yeah, I shall go. This hand's warm, because it's like, I've got it like that next to my body. And my other hand that's holding the phone, it's super cold. At least I'm not a floating head. I'm holding it on my steering wheel. And I still don't remember what I want from the shop. And you're going out, you little tinker. Honestly, I'm hot. I'm too hot in the face, but my hands are cold. Here she comes, little piece of quick. When I was driving down motorway to go, there was like a police 4x4 parked up, and when I come back, the same 4x4 was on the other side, but on the exit, and he'd pulled someone. Not me. Hey, you in your bed? Look at this little cutie, everyone. So, didn't know what I wanted in the shop. I just was like, I bet I remember later on, do you know, like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I wanted to get such and such, and I'll remember, and I'll be like, oh well, I'm going out tomorrow anyway. So tonight I was going to make a baked potato, and then earlier I thought about chilli, and I was like, oh, I'll have chilli. I've got corn, I'll have chilli. And I watched a vlog earlier, and she bought a pizza. It was like something like 18 inches or something. It was massive. It was an American vlog. So I went in the pizza section and ended up getting a Pizza Express. It was $3.70 for this. Pizza Express. And I bet you, because I've never seen this before, it might be new out, I bet you next time I go in it'll be on offer, and I'll be like, you bastards. It's a Ligara chicken and vegetable, chicken with a mix of aubergine, which I'm not too keen on, so I might scrape that off. Peppers, semi-dried tomatoes, and basil pesto on our Ligaro base. And the pizza's only 396 calories, so it must be a thin base. So I've just put the oven on when I came in, and I got an energy drink, and I'm going to have them. Hopefully it'll give me energy, and then I can do my DIY project, because it's unfortunately got to be done, because if I don't do it, I'll just put it off. And I started weeks and weeks ago, and then I got sick, because I could have done a little bit every day, and then, you know, today is my end goal. My hair looks longer because I've got, do you know, like a open neck top on. Not open neck, but it's low. If it was like up there, it would look shorter, as you can see. So that's one way of making your hair look longer, leave this exposed. So I put a moisturiser on that I've not used for ages, and when I got it, I loved it, and I used it lots, and it's only got a bit left in. But my favourite one that I've been using, my Liz Earle one's run out, and my other favourite one I've still got, but I wanted something different, so I put that on. And then when I tried to put my primer on, it didn't like it, so I'd put a different foundation onto what I normally would put on, because my feet, yeah, you could feel like the makeup basically. Well, you can, oh, anyway. So I got that. In fact, I'll show you what I got whilst I wait for the oven to warm up. Normally I would put it out and then show you, but I'm not going to do that. So I got some tumble dryer sheets. I tend to always get Tesco's on. They have changed the packaging. I cannot be bothered to bend down and get the other box, but it used to be a light blue colour, and they've changed it totally 100%. Still the spring fresh. And then I got ironing water, and they have 3 different ones now. They had a spring flower one, which I almost got, and then I'm like, I'm not a massive floral fan, so I got the matching water, which they've always done. I always get this one, and then they had another one which I think was unfragranced or whatever. They're 80p. Mine's quite low, and I do want to do my ironing today, so it might not run out, because I think that's only recently been opened. Then the body lotion that I use every day is on offer for £3. If it's still on offer next time I go in, I'll get another one, because I believe I've already got one ready to replace the one that's about to run out. I tried to get them on offer because they're £6, and obviously £3 is good. So if it's on offer and I remember when I go next, potentially Friday, might even call there tomorrow because I've got to go out. I'll get another one. It's good to stock up. I don't use it on all my body. I have different routines for my skincare. I might do a video about it one day, but basically I'll get out the shower, I'll dry as much as I can, then I'll tend to do my face. So lately I've been using a serum. It was that Makeup Revolution one. I use it twice a day if I'm putting makeup on. If I'm only doing my face once, it'll only go on once. And that's what I've been using for the last 2 or 3 weeks. My hair feels greasy even though I washed it last night. And then I'll put my moisturiser on. I've not worn eye cream in ages, and I can tell I haven't, but I can't really afford one, and the one that I used to use is like £15, but every now and then it's on offer in Asda for £7.50. Sometimes they have it on offer for £6, but when I've, like the last 3 times I've looked, it's not been on offer. If I do see it on offer, I've not been to Asda for weeks, I will get it and start using it again. Weren't my favourite, but I can't really afford anything. And I was using an oil on my face, Emma Hardy, but that's run out. Well, it's got a little bit left. Anyway, back to my body. I will then put this on my arms. Depending on what time of day I have my shower, because I know I'm going to have a second shower later on, I'll either have 1 squirt and it'll last both arms, or I'll do 2 squirts. And when I've done that, I'll put between 3 and 6 squirts in my hands, and I'll walk into my bedroom and I'll do my legs. Then I'll put bio oil on my body. So I'll stand there with my hand like that, but pushed against my body, just under my belly button, and then I'll squirt. I'll do that with the bottle and it'll dribble down me, and then I'll start rubbing it in everywhere. Any excess will go up my arms, and any more excess will go down my legs. And that's what I use. So if I use purely this, it would run out quicker, but bio oil is good for your skin. I've been getting a lot of dry skin lately. That just leaves my skin dry, and it is good for scars and stretch marks and stuff. I mean, I don't really use it for that. I just use it for the oil benefit side of things. It does get rid of scars. I was attacked and I did have some scars. I'm not saying where I had the scars, but you basically can't see the scars anymore. I feel like if you were putting it on older scars, it wouldn't get rid of them. It would probably help fade them a little bit, but you're not going to get rid of them if they're old. But if you start using it straight away. And also I mark and scar easily, and also I take a long time to heal. So I've got like a little cut there. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know where I did that, but I did it a few weeks ago and it's still not healed, and it's actually scarring a little bit. So using the bio oil, like what's left over, I'll like do that with, and I'll, you know, so that's good for that. Anyway, that's why I don't fly through it. I used to use Palmer's cocoa butter all the time in the pump action bottle, but I like to get that on offer, and I think this is how I started on this. I just couldn't get it on offer, and this was on offer for £3 in Tesco, and I basically used this mainly since. So for 4 or 5 months, this is mainly what I've been using. I do miss my cocoa butter, and I'll have to get back to that at some point. Then I picked up a Holland steak pie for my dad to take to work because he can put it in the microwave. They're all on offer for 50p. I don't know how much they are normally, but I just picked up the steak one because it was literally the first pie I saw. Paracetamol, which is standard. I tend to get them most times I go to the shop. Nurofen, again, I get them most times I go to the shop. And I only spent £13 and the pizza were nearly £4. This is my drink, and that's what I'm going to have now. So I'm going to wash my hands, put my pizza in the oven, have my pizza with my energy drink, and then go and work on my project. So the ironing water was 80p, like I said, the dry sheets were £1.25, they used to be £1. Pizza was £3.70. I know I need double dry sheets because when I got some out the other day there was like 1 or 2 left, and I do like these. I can't remember the last time I used, are they Lenore ones? The well-known brand. But I know when I did last buy them, I only bought them because they were on offer, because I know I can pick these up for, well, they used to be £1, but I know like you could probably go to B&M and get tumble dry sheets for £1. These are really good. I have used Asda own brand ones before, but these are quite moist. When you take them out, they're quite moist. Not wet, but I wanted to say they were damp, but they're not damp, but they're slightly wet. They're not natural, like looking at the ingredients. They're just sheets with stuff on. Helps reduce creases. And you can really smell them. So I've got the matching water. Let's see what water I've got. Get the award for the biggest div on the planet. So these are the old box, and I think I don't know which one I prefer. I prefer that blue, but I think I prefer that design. I don't know, there's just something that I don't like about it. Anyway, this is the box that's got 1 or 2 in. This is a new box. It has been opened, but it's probably only had 1 sheet took out. I don't put them in every time I dry because I sometimes forget, and also because I put so much softener in, stain remover, fabric conditioner, washing powder, liquid, whatever. There's like 40 in a box, and then I've just bought another 40. I don't put the dryer on 80 times a year. Sometimes I put 2 in though. Anyway, stocked up for life here. Recently bought one, didn't I? Actually, this does run out, not super fast, but you do go through it a lot. I just prefer that label. I just don't like that. It's the same bottle and everything. They have changed the label at the back. They've put more warnings on it because there's no warnings on the old ones. So probably the legal requirements have changed. So they probably thought, well, if we're changing the back label, we might as well change the front. But I like parts of the new label, but I just really like the old label. I just think it looks nicer. But there you go. That's that, I guess. So, you know, I've got enough. I've got enough. I've got enough. Oh God, I could put the dryer on every day if I want. There's like 1 sheet left in this, so I might take it out and put it in that box. Or there's more than 1, there's probably 2 or 3. It's just because the last time I remembered, there was hardly any left in. There's 2. And I didn't think, oh, I've already got a replacement box, and Buddy opened it already. Oh well, I'm only putting 2 boxes back in because I'm going to put the 2 into that one that's open. So I won't need to buy any tumble dryer sheets for a long time. A lot of people use them for like cleaning the blinds with as well, but I don't have any blinds. And people put them in the pillowcases. I wouldn't want that in my pillowcase, it's really strong. They put them in the cushions, again, I don't think I'd want to, it's really strong. And they just put them in places around the house to keep things smelling nice, so I might try that, but I'll probably forget about them and or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go, because I keep filming. What's wrong with me today? I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe it's because I don't feel super down, but that can change at any time. So I'm going to wash my hands, pizza in the oven, eat the pizza, and 6 to 8 minutes. I can do something in 6 to 8 minutes. And yeah, put the shopping away. And yeah, I think I'm trying to put off doing the DIY project. So it's 8 o'clock and I'm still sat here and I've done nothing. Like, what time did I come home? Who knows? I don't have a clue what time I come home. 6:30? I don't know, I went in the shop about 6, didn't I? 6:30, 6:45. I've eaten, I've had my energy drink, and I'm just sat here with no energy. I've got a headache, I'm gonna have some painkillers, get a Diet Coke, go and get on with my DIY project, because that's the most time consuming thing I've got to do. And I think it's because I know I'm just gonna hate it. Hate it. So I know that's what's wrong with me, because I just keep going on Instagram, and mainly Instagram. Don't think I've done anything else. I watched part of Neighbours, like it's nearly finished. It's been on pause for ages. I just need to get off my lazy ass, and just, when you know what I've done, if I eventually finish it, you'd be like, yeah, I know why you're just putting it off. the first part was easy. So painkillers, Diet Coke, go and do it. I'm not saying where it is because it might give away what I'm doing. I'm not painting, by the way. God, loads of stuff needs painting in this house. It's a horrible colour. The stairs need painting badly, especially the side as you're walking up on the right. It looks like my dad's been dragging his hand down the wall for the last 3 years. That badly needs painting. Both sides need painting really, but like this room needs painting. Like I don't want to paint and decorate because I don't want to live here. And I feel like if I spend a lot of money decorating, it will keep me here. Because why would you spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds and then move? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's pointless. So I think that's one of the reasons why I hold back on decorating. Like, in my bedroom, I hate the border and I want to take it off and I want to paint the walls because I hate the wall colour and I don't like that writing on the wall. I didn't put that on. That was there when I moved in, and I don't know how to get it off, and I'm scared if I take it off it's going to peel off the paint. Then I would definitely have to paint it, but I don't want it on the wall and I don't want the border on the wall. I hate the border. There used to be the matching light shade up. Like, I didn't know you could get a matching light shade, but it was literally the same thing. So I hate that border. And the reason I haven't been decorating is because I don't want to live here. I hate living here because there's a lot of bad memories of things that have happened here, but also people know that I live here, so I don't want to live here. And that's why I don't do anything to the house, because I don't want to decorate it and then move 2 months later. And I know you can do things on the cheap and you don't need to get decorators in, but to be honest, I wouldn't want to paint the house myself. If I was going to have it done, I would pay someone to come and do it, because they're going to do a much better job than me. Because I bodged out there the other day, like, just to get it done. It does look a million times better now I've finished it, but like last February I painted my bathroom and the downstairs bathroom, and I kind of cracked on with that and did it, and I felt some kind of motivation then. I have zero motivation at the moment, but I hate how my house looks. I absolutely hate it. I hate the colours. I believe these are the original colours of the house, and I absolutely 1,000,000,000% hate it. Like, I detest it. I hate the curtains. The curtains were here when I moved in. But that's another thing. Curtains are expensive, so if I did have this room painted, I would have to change the curtain colour because they won't go with what colour I would have. And that's where it gets expensive, because one pair is really short because it just covers the window to go in the conservatory, but the other ones are the long to the floor ones, so they would cost a lot of money. And I know you could pick up bargains and stuff and you can take them with you when you move, but I might not be moving somewhere that has double conservatory doors into the conservatory. Like, it might not have a conservatory. Like, I'm not bothered about conservatory. I never use the conservatory. Like, you know, it's an extra room and it's good, but we don't really need it because my dad has his living room upstairs next to his bedroom. If he didn't have that and we didn't have all the extra rooms, then yeah, that conservatory would probably be used more. But it doesn't get used at all. We just walk through it to let the dog out and that's it. And in the summer I'll sometimes dry washing in there on the rack, and that's all that goes on in there. So, you know, it's the curtains that would cost money. I need a new sofa, like I said last night, and I know what I want, but I don't have £500-600. I want a new coffee table. Like, there's little things that I want. Like, the sofa isn't a want, it's a need. Like, you've seen the state of it. If I sit on here with nothing on my legs get trapped in it. So, yeah, and I've put up with this for like the last 2 years doing this. So, but yeah, like, I hate the house, how it looks, and it was just because I didn't plan on staying here, but I'm kind of stuck here. My dad doesn't want to move. I don't want to live with my dad, but I don't want to leave him. It's a really difficult situation that I'm in. He's kind of keeping me here for his own selfish needs, and I'm not going to get into it. People who know, who need to know, and that's it. But I just hate how it looks. I hate my bedroom, and that's kind of where I spend the majority of my time. So, I mean, I'm going to try and find out how to get that writing off, because I hate it. But yeah, I was motivated. Last February I did the downstairs toilet and I did my bathroom in the same colour, and then I painted the hallway white, and it was, my stepdad had recommended this paint, and he's like, oh, this is the best paint to use, because he used to be a professional painter and decorator. And I used it, and it left a chalky textured thing on the wall, and it was horrible. So then I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to paint it. And that's when I started to paint it that blue colour. And I picked that blue colour because it was on offer in B&M. There was other colours on offer as well. It weren't like, oh, it's just this colour, you're gonna have to have it. But it was the colour that I went for. And I've got a second tin of it, I think, tub of it. Hello, what do you want? What's up? What? You want me to let you out the room, don't you? I know what you want. So I do have a second one of it to paint something with. I don't know what. I think my dad's bathroom, to be honest. She's so cute. You a cute girl. Look at that little face. So yeah, I wish I had the motivation I had last February. It was early February because I got quite sick in February towards the end of the month. But yeah, I couldn't believe that, like in about 2-3 days I painted those 2 rooms. Because I'm not motivated at all to do anything. And then they both looked better for painting it because they were actually a worse colour than that. So, it is just after 2:15 in the morning. Yep. So, when did I last film? I can't remember. So I did after, I don't know if I've filmed since, but what I remember filming last was when I was sat in, I'm like, it's just after 8 o'clock now, I've just sat on the sofa, done nothing, couldn't get motivated. It was to do with the fact that I'd only had 2 drinks all day. I just felt so tired. That's what you get when you don't drink. So I got a drink, and then I went upstairs and I started to work on my DIY project. In fact, before I went upstairs, I emptied my wax burner and I put in Twilight Garden Sephora dupe, because Twilight Garden's my favourite Sephora that I've tried. And I was up in my bedroom, 2 floors up, and all I could smell was this really strong wax melt. I've burnt it once before, a different piece obviously. This was a fresh piece. I put 2 pieces in, it's part of a snap bar. If I remember, I'll put a picture in so you can see what I'm going on about. And last time it was super strong, and I've put off burning it since because of how strong it was, but also because I'm trying to burn other stuff as well, and stuff lasts forever. But I did notice with it that it didn't last a massive amount of time, and it was by Queen of Tarts, and it shocked me because when you buy anything from Queen of Tarts, everything that I've tried to date has lasted 21 hours before it needs replacing, or before it starts, like, the scent fades. So I think I got about 8 hours out of it. I keep getting alerts on my camera and it's doing my head in. I got about 8 hours out of it. I think I tried to push it to 10 and I couldn't. So the initial 3 to 6 hour burn, it's super strong, and then it gets weaker, and then you get to about 10 sort of hours and it's like you can't really smell it anymore. And it's the only one by them that I've had that problem with. And I think I mentioned the other night, or I think it was in the video, I did a wax melt video, and I said like they might have improved or changed the formula since, or got the wax from a different supplier, I don't know. Got the fragrance from a different supplier, I don't know. But I just wanted to change what was in, because I had one in and then I put a different one in, it mixed the scents up. And you couldn't smell the first one that I'd put in because the second one was so strong. So changed that, and then I was like looking through my collection, I'm like, I'm really bored with what I've got. I've practically tried the majority of what I've got, and there was nothing that I really wanted. I didn't want to put in a snow fairy or a pine, because I've only got 2 pines left, I think I'm saving them. Didn't want my dark pomegranate, or otherwise known as pomegranate noir. I didn't want any of the Christmas scents that I've still got from Dallas Candles. Didn't want anything perfumey or anything like that. And then I spotted that I've got my Twilight Garden by Sephora, and I was like, yes, it's the perfect one for cleaning. And because, you know, I was trying to sort the house out as well as doing my DIY project, I thought it's perfect. It can smell like cleaning stuff, and I can just get on with it. I blew it out about 10 minutes ago because it was making me all like bunged up and snotty, and I was sneezing because it is very strong. When you're 2 floors up and it's super strong, that goes to show how potent it actually is. So I think it's going to be, you know, on those days where I'm cleaning or sorting the house out for hours at a time, I think it's going to be for one of those days. I've probably had about 4 hours burn out of it because I changed the candle and then I've started another one. I've got 3-hour tea lights in, and that's what I actually went to the shop for today, tea lights. But I got them from Tesco last time. They're the ones I'm burning, and some of them weren't very good. Some of them, the flame was staying so tiny it was barely eating the oil up. So I do have to go out tomorrow. Like I said, I need to go out just after lunchtime. Like, people like say lunchtime's 12, don't they? I'm going to either go to Asda or B&M. I don't want to go to Asda because there's a bedding set that I want, and I don't know if my Asda have it because I've not been in since I went back. It was in January when I had that doctor's appointment, and I went in to get another pink cushion to match what I've got on my bed at the moment. That was the last time I went, and I went to see that doctor on the 21st of January, so I've not been for nearly a month. And I've seen on Instagram, because a few people have it, there's a grey bedding with stars on it. I love stars, so I want it. And if I bought it, it'll only be about £12, but if I bought it, it'd be like, I could spend that £12 on something else, but I want it. I wonder if it's dual-sided, I wonder what, anyway, doesn't matter. So I think I might pop to B&M, which is always dangerous, isn't it? Because I want a candle plate. I want one big enough to put my wax burner on that table. And there's other stuff I want, but I'm not going to let myself go crazy. But I know they do a bag of tea lights for £10. Not £10, for £1. That'd be expensive. And I think there's 20 or 25 in, because that was the pack that I bought for my mum at Christmas. I don't know if they're any good, but I'll just get them. So I might just pop over to B&M tomorrow. And Aldi's there as well. So if there's anything I want, that'd be a good time to pop in Aldi as well. So I need to remember tea lights. I'm going to put a note on my phone, I think. Watch me forget. I'll get off my phone, like I'll stop filming and I'll just like go up to bed or something and I'll forget. But that's the plan. So that's the Flora one. It's very potent. Very potent. And it does have the smell of it, but because I was actually in my bathroom, I like to put Sephora in my shower. If I'm not going to use the shower again, I will put a cap full of Sephora in before I go to bed or early in the evening. And I put a cap full of that in because there's about, I think there's 5 Sephoras on the back of my toilet. It's like a decoration. If I've not shown you, I'll try and remember to show you. So I just picked up that one. And because I could smell this up there, I was like, they're not that similar, but you can pick up a hint of it. So I've still got 6 chunks left because those bars are 10. So I've still got 3 more goals and I'll probably get a good burn out of that, but it's very lethal. So I did about an hour of my DIY project and I was losing the will to live. I then sat on my bed for 20 minutes. I'm like, you've just got to get moving, don't stop. And then I thought, right, it's 9:15, I'll carry on till 10. And I did. And I was going to sit down and relax at 10, but I didn't. And I've done more stuff, but I have sat and watched the end of Neighbours and I watched EastEnders. Then I went upstairs and I decided I'm going to finally bring down my old bed frame because it's been outside my bedroom since last June. My dad won't bring it down. My dad can't. He's just not well enough to do it. I'm not going to talk about my dad, but, you know. And also I can't ask my dad to walk up and down 2 flights of stairs and bring things down. So I brought 3 of the parts down, the easier parts, even though it wasn't very easy because the heavy parts and they're awkward. In an ideal world, I'd slide them down, but they'd end up sliding down and hitting the wall, probably like knocking cement out or plaster out. And I've left the two biggest pieces, they were the side bits, and they've got metal on. The slats went ages ago, but I've just brought them down and I was sweating. I brought one down and went straight back up and brought the second one down, and I had to stop for about a minute and then went up and got the third one. So there's two pieces still outside my bedroom, and the back of the bed is in my bedroom because that had to be taken off 2.5 years ago because someone did something to me involving the back of the bed. And on that bed frame, I was lucky because it was a separate part to the legs, whereas the bed I've got now, the back of the bed has the legs attached, so I can't take that off if I wanted to. So that's been there since, and it was a pain because like you can't really sit up in bed without anything behind you. Like after 10 minutes it's uncomfortable, so I can now sit up in my bed with that, the one that I've got. So that's in the corner of the room behind that chair, and that's probably heavy, but I want to bring them all down and then get them outside, and then you can ring the council up and then they charge you to pick stuff up. But it needs to go. It's outside my room, it's obstructing light, it's taking up space, and I just wanted it gone, and that's why I brought two of the bigger pieces, and I mean widest pieces. The other pieces are like, I can't do it because I've only got one hand free, but they're heavy. And then I was like, I need to sit down. I've got the conservatory door open. Not the back door, but the conservatory door, because it lets cold air in. Because I've got the heating on, which is going to go off in a few minutes. Because I washed all my muslin cloths. I've got about 7. I just put them in the washer on a 30-minute cycle. Because they all needed washing. So they're drying. I'm trying to dry them so when I go up, I can take them up and put them away. As well as all that, I've brought some more recycling down, more rubbish, a bag full of clothes for the tip. There's one more thing to go in that bag. I will go and get it and bring it down before I get in bed or go to bed, because the bag needs tying up, and I know my dad's going to put it in his car because he's going to go to the tip one day this week. So I don't want him to tie it up and put it in his car and me go, oh, I've got one more item for it. I've probably got more than one item, but I'll sort out I don't have too much, but I do want to have another clothes sort out soon. Actually, I'm going to put one of my coats in it as well. The coat I wore all last winter because the zip is just buggered. I tried to wear it September time when it was really cold. I put it on once. I was like, oh, the zip does up. And then as I was walking along, the zip split. So there's no point keeping that. So I'm going to whack that in the bag as well. And that's one less thing to have clutter in the house. I've done some more in my office. I vacked. And I annoyed my dad. I vacked down here and I vacked the stairs, and then I went and vacked my office, the landing, the stairs, and my bedroom. I want to vac outside my bedroom in the morning. I'm not going to do it now my dad's in bed, obviously, because most sensible people would be in bed at 2:30 in the morning. So I did that, tidied more stuff off this big table there, tidied this table, polished it with Mr. Sheen and smeared the hell out of it. I need to clean all the glass doors and stuff, but I'm not going to do that now. It was on my list, but it's not going to get done now. I've put the throw on. I washed it at weekend. It weren't really dirty because I washed it about a month ago. And did a bit more tidying in the kitchen. I was going to do the squirty mop of dreams, but because the dog's downstairs, I'm not going to, because she'll just walk on it, and I'm not making her go upstairs because then she thinks she's done something wrong. So it is looking a lot better, and I want to keep it like this because it's stressful trying to get everything sorted and looking right and how it should be. And I do have too much stuff, I keep saying that, and I've, like, in my office especially, I've just shoved stuff under the desk, in the drawer things that I've got, just to put them out the way. So I really need to have a good sort out in there. That's the one thing I'm dreading, but it is looking a lot better than it did, like a lot better. I vacked it and everything, so I am going to slowly go through everything. Like I keep saying, I'm going to do one room at a time, and not one room at a time, and just like do bits here and there. Like, even if I just do 10 minutes a day on top of normal cleaning, I want to keep it how it is. It's looking so much better than it was. I just know that I've got too much stuff. Like, there's a couple of boxes in the conservatory. I just need to go through them. Like last year, I think it was like last July time, July time, I did start going through stuff. I threw out so much stuff from in the conservatory because there was just boxes of stuff that, you know, stuff I don't use, and I went through them and got rid of so much stuff. And I need to start doing it again. Like the 2 boxes up there, I need to go through and like get rid of everything that I don't need. And I'll slowly get there. I've only lived here 3 years, but every like few months I'm like, right, I'm gonna have a sort out. But I've not done it for months. I remember I did it last February, March time, and then I did it in the summer, but I didn't do it in the autumn or winter. I didn't really do much, and a lot of it is to do with how I'm feeling and my depression and stuff. But my anxiety isn't bad at the moment. It's messing with my head. I know, like, you would have seen me struggling to go out early, and I just kept filming and filming. And it wasn't extreme anxiousness, but I was anxious about going out and nervous because I don't go out anymore. Obviously, I said, like, someone said to me last week, we're going to work on that. I think we all know who said that to me. I do actually need to speak to my doctor when I see her next, because if she comes out and says my full name, I will be saying to her, what's the problem? You only do that when you're annoyed at me. You obviously have a problem. If there's a problem, tell me. If you don't want to be my doctor, tell me. I'm not going to keep coming here and you be like this with me. There's really no need for it. It's ever since she had a go at me about Linda. Linda's a liar. Linda had a go at me. I did film the video afterwards about Linda, and I held back out of respect for my doctor. But Linda isn't a very nice person. And my doctor didn't like. I didn't say that to her. I just said, like, you're out of order. You shouldn't be defending her. I'll defend her. She's very popular here. Yeah, she's popular with the staff because she lets the staff get away with murder. If you look on the reviews and people like bad-mouthing the surgery, she makes it out to be the patients in the wrong. That just goes to show a lack of experience in management because she didn't have a clue. It's 4 o'clock in the morning and I've just come upstairs. I've just been sat downstairs doing nothing for an hour when really I should have been in bed. I've got a headache. I'm feeling snotty, like that. I'm really thirsty. I hope I'm not going backwards health-wise, because that would just be typical. The house is looking a lot better. I just want to go to sleep because my alarm's set for before 10 o'clock. Watch me be awake at 6. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. What am I looking for? Do you know when you leave something somewhere and then you can't find it? That's what's going on right now. I need to go out in 15-20 minutes. I've only just come downstairs. I've had 3.5 hours sleep, which is just fantastic. I love it when I have 3.5 hours sleep. So I have been struggling to get ready. Unfortunately, it was hair washing day, because I could have done with it not being hair washing day. Would have been easier and better for me, because it would have meant I would have got ready quicker and I could have had an extra half an hour in bed. I want to try and have something to eat before I go out. I can see that further. I don't know how my fringe is going to last before it gets cut next, but oh well. Yeah, I want to have something to eat and drink quickly. And then I want to go out. Well, I've got to go out. I don't have a choice really. I was just walking through the house doing air freshener. And I couldn't see my dog, and I knew she was downstairs because I've just given her a treat and stuff. And then I'm like, what's she doing? And then I'm like, is she in the conservatory? Does she want to go out? And it would appear my dad's home. So she's too good for her own good. Aren't you? You can't see, oh, you can see her ears. So yeah. What was I going to say? I don't know, I feel like I need a wee, but I've just had one. Anyway, I'm going to get on. I'll probably chat loads when I'm out because I'm having to go out. Car registration plate TN07 XCO, I think. I'm not looking at it, I was just trying to remember. I have wrote it in my phone. So I was driving here and they were in front of me twice and they kept changing lane and they kept constantly indicating, but like they were in the right hand lane and they were indicating right, and I'm thinking, well, you're in the right hand lane, why you still got your indicator on? Then they went into the left lane, and the road that I was on goes into 3 lanes for a short time so you can turn onto this retail park. So I went into the lane to come onto the retail park and I could see the lights were green to turn right into the retail park. Did I say into the left lane? Into the right lane, I don't know what I said. And I was like, oh great, the lights are green. And then that car, which was in the middle lane, or the lane to my left, suddenly, without indicating, pulled in front of me in the lane. The lights were still on green at this point, and we were like 2 car lengths away from the lights, or 1 car length. Well, they were 1 car length away from the lights and I was 2. And I'm looking at the lights thinking they're going to change soon, we need to go, like, and they were going really, really slow, and I'm like, and then all of a sudden, for absolutely no reason, they slammed the brakes on, and I'm like, I had to slam my brakes on because obviously I was looking at the lights and they were green, everyone else is going through the lights. I'm like, oh great, I'm going to get through the lights. Nope. I had to slam my brakes on and everything went flying off my seat, like drink bottles and my phone, house keys. I mean, my car's big enough a tip without me emptying the seat on my floor as well. And then clearly they weren't looking, or if they were, they're idiots. They started to reverse. Why the hell would you reverse on a main road? Like, and I'm just sat there thinking, do I reverse? Do I beat my horn? What do I do? And I'm like, I can't even remember if there was anyone behind me now, to be honest. I think there was, actually there was, so I couldn't have reversed. And I'm just sat there like, and then I could see the driver was like flapping around inside, like, oh, like that, but not really looking. And then all of a sudden they realised I was behind them. And then they looked really angry because I was behind them. And I'm thinking, I was in this lane, you clearly didn't indicate before coming in this lane, you've just whacked your car in there. If I would have been going a little bit faster, because it is a 50 road, we would have hit each other. And the only reason I was going slow is because I knew I was turning right. I weren't going to turn right at 50 miles an hour. So when the lights went green, they set off quite fast, went flying round the corner. And if you've been on this retail park, you'll know not far onto the retail park there's this massive hump that you've got to slow down to practically, like you're going, like you're barely moving, to go over it. So they slammed the brakes on there as well. And I knew what was coming, so I weren't driving at any speed to get to it because I knew I'd be slowing down. And then they're like flapping around in the car, the driver, like, you know, if you can't drive and you're getting like that, you really shouldn't be driving, you shouldn't be on the road, because what they did is dangerous. Like, they nearly hit me, like, pulling into a lane without indicating, like, you know, you're supposed to look, they clearly didn't look because they didn't know I was behind them. Then to reverse up a main road, and like, why are you slamming your brakes on? The lights are green. Apparently it's a car park, but not to him who's flying around the car park. And then we're coming round, and then all of a sudden, no warning whatsoever, they slammed the brakes on again and turned right onto a thing on there. and then turned around and come back over this way. So I don't know what they were doing, but if you're going to slam your brakes on, you know, you're meant to actually look in your mirror, because if there's a car behind you, you know, and it's just driving at the normal speed and giving you the normal distance, if you're going to just slam your brakes on and stop like that, the car behind you is potentially not going to be able to stop, because normally most people slow down slowly, but no. And I don't think they're using the mirrors, because I was watching them and they definitely didn't look in the mirror once. I mean, they clearly didn't look in the mirror when they decided to pull into my lane, because, you know, if they pulled in that lane a second later, they would have hit me, or I would have hit them, but they were coming into my lane without indicating, and then they reversed. So yeah, it's a miracle people like that don't have loads of accidents, and it's people like that that shouldn't even have a license, because, you know, if I weren't concentrating or I hadn't seen them acting erratically before that point, I wouldn't have been wary of them, because they changed lanes so many times, it was ridiculous. I've never known anything like it. And then they'd be in a lane and then they would change lane, and then they would indicate even though they're in the lane that they've changed into. Like, they were totally oblivious to what they'd actually done and how they'd almost caused 2 accidents with me alone. Potentially 3 if you count where they slammed the brakes on here. I was just like, I looked at them and they just didn't care. They're just like, oh, like that. And they were too busy talking to the person in the back who didn't have a seatbelt on, and the person in the passenger seat who didn't have a seatbelt on. I couldn't see if they had a seatbelt on or not, but I could see everyone else didn't. Like, I pay a fortune for my insurance, and I'm paying for people like that. I'm not paying for my mistakes, because I've never made a mistake, luckily. Thank God. My insurance is enough without me making a mistake and it going up. So yeah. I've never had a point on my licence either, to date. That just shows how good a driver I am. If there's one thing I'm confident about myself, it's my driving ability. Like, I know I can drive well. And it's like, I like driving in snow and ice, I don't mind it. A lot of people panic, you know, if the car slides or whatever, they panic. Or they drive in a way that actually causes accidents because they're not driving properly. You need to drive how you drive normally, but you need to keep a bigger distance between cars. You don't drive down the road at 15 miles an hour and keep slamming your brakes on. And that's what a lot of people do. I look odd, don't I? Like a bloody head in a giant coat. It's better than a floating head. But I'm just sick of drivers like that. It's people like that that cause accidents and don't realise what they're doing. And then nowadays, it's everyone, there's no claims thing. It's like, if you're in an accident, even if you didn't cause it, you still get penalised for it, which is wrong, because there's people like that on the road. Anyway, that's just took up 10 minutes, well, 8 minutes. So I'm out the house, I want to go to bed. We all know I won't go to bed till like 4 or 5 in the morning, and it'd be like tomorrow, I'd be like, oh, I'm tired. The house is looking better. I just want to carry on, like, sorting through stuff, like I keep saying. I'm going to do nothing today, housework wise. I'm hopefully going to film a couple of videos, which would be Sunday and Tuesday. So, you know, by the time you see this, because this will go up on the Thursday. Hopefully they've gone up, but because I don't know if they definitely will, or if I'm putting up what I'm going to film today, I won't say what they are. But I've talked about one of them before, because I said, well, would you want to see this? And like, it was just a question where I didn't need an answer, but I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a video where I'm on camera, because I did start to do a series of videos, and I said I'd update it every time I do something. Not going to give it away in case it's not gone up by the time this goes up. And then there's a third one, so potentially, hopefully, I'm going to get 3 videos filmed today. And then that's Sunday, Tuesday, Sunday. I then need to start thinking about what content I can film for Tuesday and Sunday. I did write a list of ideas. I want to get like because it's in like, do you remember those like exercise books you have at school? Like, I don't know if they have them now, and they're like A5, well, slightly bigger than A5, and like they've got staples in the middle. I've wrote it in them, and I don't like those type of like notebooks. I like, do you know, like ones on spirals. That doesn't make sense, but do you know what I mean? Not ring binder ones, but do you know, that type of notebook, so then I can open it and keep it open on certain pages. So I might try and pick one of them up now. If not, I'll order one online and get it delivered, and then just write a list of this shop's going to be busy because I've just realised it's half term, and I'm seeing like loads of kids coming out with their parents and grandparents. I'm at B&M, by the way. So yeah, I want a notebook like that so I can write my video ideas down, and then like if I write a video idea down and it needs certain things for it, I can write on the next page, I need to do this bit, or I need to film this, or I need to do that. Do you know, like if it's like a video where there's loads of things to it, like, do you know, when I did I do my evening skincare routine or my morning skincare routine? I did one of them, and then I did cutaway clips where I showed the products. Was it my evening one? Might be my evening one. I don't think it was my morning one. I did cutaway clips so I could write on the next page, I need to do such and such clips, and do that. I'm really thirsty. I've only had a coffee. I do have water with me. I've got loads of waters in this car. They need taking out when I get home. Then I know what I've had and how long for. So yeah, I want a book to just write video ideas down so I know. Because sometimes I think, oh, I don't know what to film, but if I've got a notebook, I'm like, oh, I could film that. And there's loads of things I can pre-film, so I can have... Is there a story time I can do? I've probably got a story time. I was thinking of doing a story time about going to the doctors. I mean, I don't mean to see my doctor, I mean like, do you know there's certain things you don't want to go and talk to your doctor about because it's awkward, and there's certain examinations you don't really want to have? I was thinking of doing a video about that because I've had a few of those examinations that you don't want to have, and my opinion about them has changed quite a lot. So I might do a video about that, because I know, like, from how I feel about having to go and talk about certain things, that other people struggle to talk about it, and they don't want, like, the worst fear is like the doctor doing an intimate examination. It's not even bad. Like, I'd built something up in my head, and then like it wasn't what I thought it was, and I might do a video on my opinion on it all because it has changed and I'm not bothered by it now. Like, if I had to have an intimate examination every time I went, I wouldn't be bothered. I mean, I don't want that every time I go, but you know, people do make it out to be something it's not, and they're scared of having it done. It doesn't even hurt. And I know I think it's more the doctor's going to see you naked kind of thing. But I might do a video, my experience with being naked around the doctor. No, about like going to see the doctor, and like, because people put things off for years, don't they? And people feel awkward about talking about things, because I know I feel awkward about things, and she knows when I'm trying to tell her something and I don't really want to talk about it. I'm not going to talk too much about my video idea and what I'm going to talk about, because it'll like, well, it'd be pointless doing the video if I talk about it. But if I'm trying to talk about something I don't want to talk about, and I don't mean just like intimate problems, not an intimate problem, because I've not had an intimate problem, but I mean, oh, someone's just about to park right next to me. Great.